After leaving Moscow, we travelled 114 kilometers along the Ural motorway, and here we are, in the old Russian town of Kolomna. We're making a film about a wonderful woman and about the famous Kolomna Pastila. Pastila is an old Russian dessert made here in Kolomna. It used to be popular a long time ago, but was only recently rediscovered. Kolomna has been a famous and important trading town since the 17th century. There are a lot of stalls and small shops here. Fine varieties of apples grow in the gardens of Kolomna, which need processing. So the people here use the special Kolomna Pastila recipe, which we're here to tell you about. We wanted to produce something which could make the Kolomna special in this area. We suggested the Pastila project to the town authorities. This would be part of a cultural programme in the lead-up to the upcoming Euro 2008 tournament. Representatives of 40 countries, including some ministers and VIPs, are due to come to Kolomna for the occasion, as it's an important sports event. The authorities agreed to start the project immediately, and we began searching for information to make up a special Pastila recipe. We got a lot of orders instantly. We realised that having taken the chance, we had managed to succeed in combining history, archaeology and cooking. We engage local people in our activities here. In the autumn, we publish adverts to say that we're buying pumpkins, apples and carrots. We try to involve the children in different activities, such as making toys or Russian pancakes. It helps them to understand their identity as Russian people, and it's much better than reading history books. It's also a great benefit for children to make handmade things with their parents and friends. And as for the parents and grandparents, they take part in projects such as the Anatevosky Apples Festival. I invited all the locals to take part in the festival. The girls delivered invitations to everyone, informing them of our meetings. I asked the townspeople to share their apple recipes with everybody else, like apple jam or apple with marrow, and emphasised the fact that it would be nice if the recipe had the name of the person who shared it with us. We supplied all the participants with our branded jam jars wrapped in special paper with our festival logo and had some aprons specially made. We arranged some hay stalls where women living in the community sold their homemade jams, handmade gifts like pot holders and cabbage salad. When those women came to see me later, one of them excitedly told me how she'd managed to earn 700 rubles, nearly £15, in half an hour. We started to plan our future activities. Next Christmas we're going to make an ice skating rink on Arbatskaya Street and install a water column there. Last Saturday I met with local businessmen who have become very successful in this town. They're wealthy and very enthusiastic about making this place prosperous. I'm going to persuade them to do some little things to help. I'll show them some old pictures of the 2-metre-high water columns, which used to be so beautiful and were made of cast iron. I'll ask them to help us make some lanterns and benches. I don't want to ask for public funding. I'll offer them about 100,000 rubles, £2,000 each, so that we can make this project a reality. Those young ladies have totally changed the Kolomna lifestyle. It used to be a forgotten place where people hardly visited, but when we founded the Pastila Museum, it became the most popular place in Kolomna. Natalia is a creative person with a rich imagination. All the projects she started have become popular and are a great success with people here. We're really proud of Natalia and are happy to have people like her in this region. We're proud to say that these ladies have made our town famous. They're very hardworking. We're inspired by the feedback we get from people. It's so nice to hear that they're going to come back to Kolomna and bring their friends here. It's wonderful when they really do. A tourist attraction is popular when people come back to the site over and over again. When people taste our food and have some contact with local history, they start to feel proud of being Russian. People write in our visitors' books that they're happy to live in Russia. They tell us that if they'd been taught literature in the way that we did, they'd have read all the works of Pushkin while still at school. At first, we only used egg whites to make the pastil, but there was a lot of waste. But then we found a recipe for making handmade pasta with egg yolks. We add almond and pepper into the dough. Our slogan is "History with Taste." We're going to call the cafe Tasty History and open our doors on Heritage Preservation Day in April. We'll serve international cuisine with famous dishes and drinks, which will include the recipes of Sophia Tolstoy and Claude Monet. You'll be able to read handwritten recipes, which will be eventually displayed as museum exhibits. About 65 people work with us at the moment. The number of employees has doubled this year as we set up the museum plant and the Institution of Contemporary Art. I'll tell you how we recruit our staff. I give people a chance to try out the activities. For a month they're just volunteers and don't have to attend work every day. It's a good way to observe one another and decide whether we'll manage to work together. I only recruit others after my staff agree to have a new member. Different people want to work with us. There are elderly people, young women, and some girls who just can't find jobs after leaving university. Disabled people also come and find jobs with us, and we've given employment to each and every one of them. I had an injury and stayed at home for a long time. I came to the Pastila Museum and was given a job which I accepted immediately. My life has completely changed. I've made new friends who respect me. I always tell my friends that I work in a kind of paradise, as there are a lot of nice people around. They're all different, but that's what makes me feel really happy. The local people are our priority. It's part of our corporate social responsibility programme. We were really concerned that the locals might disapprove of our activities if they weren't involved. They've used to live here quietly, and then all of a sudden there's a museum, a plant, and lots of buses crowded with tourists who might bother the local population. We decided that the locals should be involved and become our team members and invite guests to their homes and offer them tea. Our museum keeps flavours, and it's called the Museum of Lost Flavours. It's another kind of national heritage, which isn't kept in some museums, but it is part of our cultural heritage. In 2002, the International Association of Museums made a decision on national heritage, saying that it no longer just contains material objects and folklore, but also our style of living and our national character traits. Are they our kinds of heritage as well? It turns out they are. When I feel exhausted, I always tell myself, keep quiet, do what you have to do, and just go with it. It's a motto by Leo Tolstoy, and he's quite right. It means that one shouldn't make a fuss, but do one's job carefully and put one's heart and soul into it. We can only get good results when we do something with purpose and willing, and put all of our heart into the things we're doing.